Fighting out of Sharon Hills, Pennsylvania, Smokin' Burt Cooper. And in the blue corner, weighing in at 230 pounds, he was a silver medalist in the 1988 Olympics. He is undefeated with a record of 19-0, 17 by KO. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, Riddick Bowe.
Okay, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning again, obey my commands at all times. Any questions? Shake hands and good luck. Wait a minute.
So we get set, 10 rounds of the heavyweight division. And now Richard Steele says, wait a minute.
And he said shake hands, and Burt punched him. And then when they came back, Bowe punched him. No shaking hands here. They want to get this thing started.
Now the thing to watch out for, Riddick Bowe has 17 knockouts in his 19 pro wins. 7 of those knockouts have come in the first round, but once again, he is about 10 pounds heavier, Ferdy.
He certainly doesn't look it. He still looks tall. I mean, he's a very tall man. He can certainly carry that 230. Now, what we got here is a very heavy punching Burt Cooper, who, if you stand in front of him, will give you a terrific bout. If you box him, he doesn't know what to quite do with you. You see the disparity in size.
And you see Cooper taking the fight right to Bowe.
Bowe's fight is to box. He's a superior boxer, to use his size and get away with him. Sometimes Bowe just doesn't pay attention. He's not focused. As I said, Eddie Futch has kept him right on track, but Eddie Futch had a hip operation which fortunately turned out very well. He is at ringside but not in the corner. He is not able to go up and down ring stairs yet, and of course that's what resulted in Riddick Bowe adding 10 pounds. With his trainer in the hospital, he just did what he wanted to.
You see Cooper trying the swarming attack, trying to get inside the reach of Riddick Bowe here in round 1.
Cooper is a warrior. If you stand in front of him, he will fight you all night long. You have to box, you have to give him angles. And right now, Riddick Bowe is doing nothing but catching.
You know, we mentioned that Bowe has 7 first-round knockouts. Cooper's 19 knockouts. 8 of them have been first-round knockouts. So both of these guys like to get it done in a hurry.
Well, Riddick better get on track somewhere along the line here, because he hasn't done anything as yet.
Hard to get out.
Now Bowe trying to back away a little bit. Once again, Cooper just stays right in his face.
Well, that's because Riddick is not using his superior height nor motion. He's not using his legs. I mean, here he is, this huge guy. All he has to do is move away from him and box him and jab him. He stands right inside, just within range of the little short arms of Cooper. Now, Cooper can punch. It's dangerous to be that close.
Cooper with a lot of personal problems in the past. Says that has all been cleared up over the past 11 months. And you see him just trying to get inside. And Riddick Bowe, one of the keys for him is his jab, and we don't see it here.
He has no space to jab. He's got to have distance, and there is no distance. There's no daylight between these two guys.
Come on, work and get out.
So far, Cooper has done exactly what he wanted to do, and I would imagine that Bowe is in for tongue lashing when he gets back to his corner, because he has not fought the way he's supposed to.
Pull your arm back. Pull
and although Cooper will get hit with some shots in there, when he's that close, there's no leverage from Bowe.
Bowe, as you can see, a very tall and long arm guy. He needs some distance to punch, and he's not getting any. Cooper's just not letting him have any, nor is he trying to get any, and that's what he's going to hear about when he gets to the corner. Step back, get some room now, jab. Now right there, jab. Let that jab come in there hard.
Come on, work and get out.
Cooper has taken the fight to Bowe as we hit the end of round number 1, and he scores with an uppercut inside. So Smokin' Burt Cooper heads back to his corner, as does Riddick Bowe.
And the guys that put down 10-1 on Cooper are already counting the money. They're looking at. They said, "Well, that first round is in," and keep him off at the end of your jab. Now you see. Now let's see how long he tries to keep that distance. There he is. That's the jab, and that's the distance he needs. This is what Eddie Futch wants. Move away when he moves in. Make him pay for it when he comes in.
And right now, early on, we're seeing that Cooper's coming up short because he can't get inside. He had his way in round 1. He just walked right in.
You've got to almost slap him in the legs and get him awake, Riddick Bowe, and get him focused. I mean, when he's focused, he's an excellent fighter. And he's a great prospect. but it's just difficult to get him to think every round and carry out the game plan. Right now he's doing exactly what he should be doing and what Eddie Futch wants him to do.
This is Bowe's 7th fight of 1990, 6-0 with 5 knockouts. Cooper is 1-1 with 1 knockout here in 1990. Cooper last lost to Wayne Mercer back in August. Lost a 12-round decision.
And outside of the Tyson fight with Douglas, that might have been the finest heavyweight fight in the last year or two. They just went at it. But that's because Mercer's not a boxer, he's a puncher, and they like to stand in front of each other and let fly.
Don't hold it.
Here you have a possibility of a great boxer to be showing his technique right there. That's the kind of thing that Bowe has to do.
Good uppercut by Bowe.
The action heating up now as Bowe is landing some blows with heavy intention. That uppercut is exactly what Futch said. Once you get used to the jab, go with the uppercut.
Punching it out.
Nice right hand by Riddick Bowe.
All right, great. Step back, step back.
Richard Steele separating the fighters. A much better round number 2 for Riddick Bowe.
There you go, Buck, man. Step around, step around. Stick down right there. Stick down right there.
When Cooper gets inside, he can do a little damage.
Get it back, get it back.
Oh, good right hand by Bowe. And Cooper is down.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You okay? Give him up.
Will Cooper make it to the end of round 2?
Yeah, he's going to beat the...
Cannot be saved by the bell.
4, 2, 5, 3.
And
that is it.
Steele's top knee is definitely out. He just came within 1 second of beating that bell. 1 second more and that would have been all. But that's a huge guy who is 6'4" and at 230 pounds. When he lands a right hand, believe me, that's electricity. That's power in the hands. Of course, I always felt Cooper just too little against big heavyweights. You can't match.
Riddick Bowe with a 2nd round knockout as he puts down Bert Cooper for the 2nd time at the end of the round. And Cooper could not get back up. Is that a preview of what we'll see later on in the moment of truth?
Now watch how well he lands that right hand. Now when a big man like that lands a right hand of that nature and then follows it up with another, but the first one was already enough right there. You see how well he positions himself to throw the right hand? The classical fighter. He has the makings of a great fighter if they can get him to concentrate, if he listens to Eddie Futch, if he comes along, he can be a powerhouse in boxing. Can Riddick Bowe. Let's look at it from a different angle. You see how it's just perfectly thrown and perfectly connected. Now the second one just icing on the cake.
Our referee is Frank Cappuccino there in the middle of the screen, and he gets his fight underway. Riddick Bowe wearing the all-white trunks, Terrell Biggs in the black, and Terrell Biggs takes a right hand right on the forehead, Alex.
He definitely wobbled, Dan, and he does not want to get into a trading contest with Riddick.
And Riddick Bowe, wasting no time, sensing his man's in trouble, smothers him.
Eddie Futch told us yesterday he has never, oh, good left hook in retaliation by Terrell. Eddie Futch, Bowe's trainer, said he has never had a man hurt and failed to finish him. He said he finishes very well.
Well, all of a sudden, you can see Bowe no longer moving forward.
No, that's right.
That left hand stopped him short.
Right dead in his tracks.
See some blood coming from the nose of Terrell Biggs.
That is a chronic nosebleed he's had in many of his fights. But what the Bowe assault did do, Dan, was it got Tyrell out of his game plan. He is now standing flat-footed and getting into a little bit of a trading contest, and that is not to his advantage.
You saw the jab of Biggs score several times. It's a weapon he's going to need if he has a chance to win this fight. Well, this was the kind of action we were hoping to see in this fight, and it did not waste long. Riddick Bowe landed a right hand in the first 10 seconds of the fight. Our three judges today who would score this fight if they go the distance: Phil Newman, Lynn Carter, and Al DeVito. They'll come into play if it goes the full 10 rounds.
Started out like you just needed one official to count to 10, Dan, but...
A wild right from Bowe misses.
Even though Terrell has bled from the nose on at least 5 of his fights, he does seem to be bothered by a little bit. He has been pawing at it.
Inside a minute here in round number 1. At times in his career, Big has had a very sharp jab. You see how effectively there he's using the left, keeping Riddick Bowe away from him.
Terrell Biggs should be just shooting the jab like he did right there, Dan. He's flicking it right there. It can be a very sharp punch. He's a converted southpaw, and you would expect that the guy who's been turned around would have power in his left.
A good right hand to the body by Biggs.
Oh, there's the heavy jab.
Good solid jab to the forehead.
And an uppercut on the inside by Tyrell. He has fought back very well in this round 1.
We're coming to the end of round number 1 here in Atlantic City. Stay with us. This is action underway here in the second round. Around the first round where Riddick Bowe got in a telling shot early. It looked like Terrell Biggs was in big trouble, and then he stopped Bowe in his tracks with a left hand, and from then on it was a pretty even round.
Tyrell fought back very, very well.
There's a good solid jab, that time by Bowe.
Eddie Futch told Riddick in his corner, he'll be looking for that right hand now, Riddick. Use your left.
Again, a reminder, Terrell Biggs in the black trunks, Riddick Bowe in the white.
And another outstanding jab by Tyrell Biggs. The thing you worry about the jab, as good as it is he brings it back so low after he uses it. And when you're in with a man who punches as well with the right as Riddick Bowe does, that could be a terrible, terrible flaw.
There is Riddick's wife, Judy. She's at ringside and not displaying a great deal of emotion. I'm sure that's on the outside. Oh, there's a good left hand. There's a left and a right, and then the second left scored big, that time for Riddick Bowe.
As long as Tyrell is going to wait and let Riddick Bowe get off first, he's not going to win this fight. He must dictate the pace with the jab. Keep Riddick Bowe from coming in. Try to keep him from getting his rhythm. Good body punch there by Riddick Bowe. And another right, and then came up top. Good combination.
There was a good left hand off the ropes by Terrell Biggs. Well, you can see that was a conscious effort to the body by Bowe.
Terrell's face already swelling up under both eyes, and I believe a little bit over the eyes. It's a war of attrition right now, Dan, and when you have superior strength and power like Riddick Bowe has, that just has to be to your advantage and the Tyrell Biggs disadvantage.
I told you step back, Rick.
Ooh, there's a good jab.
You see Terrell bothered by the nose. It may be broken, and he may be having trouble breathing through it.
You can see him trying to clear it after every clinch.
And when you're having trouble breathing, obviously that plays into your stamina. And Terrell's stamina, not as hard really, because he's fought back under adversity. Broken collarbones, 32 stitch cuts. But in terms of stamina, it has been a question mark at top competition.
This fight's scheduled for 10. We're finishing the second. Bell sounds for the beginning of the third round. Biggs and Bowe meet towards the middle of the ring. Now Bowe goes, forces Terrell Biggs over towards the ropes. What a good solid shot that was.
That's right. Riddick started to clown a little bit and make some faces at Terrell, and he wiped the smile off his face with a real stiff jab. The other factor we should bring up, Dan, is Tyrell's tendency to cut. Terrible cut against David Bowe, as we said, 32 stitches. Reopened the left eye against Tyson. Right eye busted up and caused a stoppage against Francesco Damiani. So that both eyes have a tendency to cut and cut badly.
And Terrell Biggs is not doing a very effective job of keeping his gloves up and blocking the shots of Riddick Bowe. He's taken repeated hits to the head.
And he's also waiting too much. He just waited there until Riddick threw a 3-punch combination.
Let him out. Let him go. Come on. Come on out.
Terrell Biggs in the black trunks has to initiate the action. Work off that jab.
There's an attempt at an uppercut. It's been a very good punch for Riddick Bowe.
You know, it's only when you see that.
Oh, there's a shot to the back of the head by Terrell Biggs. No warning, though, from Frank Cappuccino.
No, really, when the other man turns away like that, Dan, he has a right to punch him. That's Bowe's fault for turning away. That's the foul.
And there's Terrell Biggs' father, James.
And you can see the look of concern as his son took another heavy right hand.
He got Terrell started in boxing. He fought in school and in the Army, and interested his son at a young age to get involved in this sport. Jab flicking by Biggs is missing. The one by Bowe landed.
I started to say, Dan, these two guys are so similar in size, both 6'4" and change, both 225, that only when you see Frank Cappuccino, the referee, in the picture, do you realize how big they are. Two huge men.
We're in the third round here at Harrah's in Atlantic City. Coming up on the 32nd mark. You can see that when that jab of Terrell Biggs is effective in flicking out there, Riddick Bowe is a little cautious.
There, a good right hand, and Bowe is hurt.
And Riddick Bowe is hurt. Riddick Bowe saying, "Come on in," but there was no doubt that he was hurt. Terrell Biggs making a fight of it.
Let him out. Let him out.
Here we go with the start of the fourth round. A reminder, this fight is scheduled for 10. And Terrell Biggs, who's been on the short end of this fight up to this point, closed the third round with a flurry, and he hurt Riddick Bowe. Alex, he caught him clowning a little.
Solid right hand, and I think Terrell was even surprised by the effect, because he's not supposed to be a big right-handed puncher. Eddie Fudge in Riddick Bowe's corner. Stop clowning around. You're letting him get off first. Use your jab. Oh, good right hand that time by Bowe.
A lot of movement being shown by Biggs, but it's been Riddick Bowe who's had the big punch of this round, that right hand.
Yeah, this is ineffective movement by Terrell. He's not landing anything. It's just Riddick just pushing him around the ring. Dan, we should note that's really about the first time either fighter has been up against the ropes. That this is a 17-foot ring. You might notice the flag there in the turnbuckle and back. Rock Newman, Riddick Bowe's manager, changed this ring this morning from a 20-foot ring to a 17-foot ring by adding an extra turnbuckle. And that clearly, against a fighter who is as mobile as the opponent is today, Terrell Biggs, is to his fighter's advantage. So far, it's been a phone booth fight.
We'd like to remind our ABC stations that at the end of this round, we're going to be going to a station break.
Go, Tyrell. You're holding, Tyrell. Let him out.
You can hear Frank Cappuccino telling Biggs to stop holding.
Terrell's thinking right now, Frank, I'm tired. I've landed a few good punches, but this guy's a buzzsaw.
Another good right hand, partially blocked by the glove, but some of it still landed. You could see it move the head of Biggs.
sure.
It looks like blood is coming from over the left eye
of Terrell Biggs. That is the cut that we talked about that first opened, 32 stitches in it against David Bay. Opened again terribly against Tyson.
Well, of the two fighters right now, certainly Terrell Biggs looking the much more beleaguered.
And the more desperate.
Yep.
Terrell Biggs really has been
That punch looked low. That left by Riddick Bowe appeared to hurt Biggs, and it was low, Alex.
And we should point out that the book on Terrell Biggs is that he is vulnerable to the body, going all the way back to his amateur fights with Teofilo Stevenson.
And ABC's Wide World of Sports will return after this word from our ABC station. And the beginning of round number 5. A reminder that of Riddick Bowe's fights, 19 of his 21 professional fights have ended in 4 rounds or less. He's gone to the 8th round twice, won both of those. Eddie Gonzalez and Pinklin Thomas. And we are now here in the 5th. But that was another good solid round, Alex, for Riddick Bowe.
Solid round for Riddick, and he seems to me, Dan, to have started a little bit slowly here. I mean, this is to Terrell's advantage. There's one thing that for taking your time, but constant pressure. I just think Terrell is going to wilt, and under the effect of those punches to the head and to the body, and the effect of the nosebleed and the cut.
Oh, another right hand to the body by Bowe. Couple scoring jabs.
Trying to work the cut. Very, very little coming back from Tyrell right now. I don't think he's yet just talking about surviving. Now the ropes come into effect. But I do think he is just saving up his strength for a few desperation punches of fight. Around, I'm sorry. Yeah, just covering, nothing coming back. Bowe is accepting those clinches.
Terrell Biggs, never a powerful fighter, Alex, who was able to muscle his way around the ring. That will almost certainly come into play later in this fight. And there, well, Riddick Bowe Jr. knows he's on television.
Yeah, it didn't appear too excited about it.
No. It has been a nonchalant Bowe family watching this fight.
His father has been described as a man who never saw a camera or a mirror he didn't like.
And a lot could be said that his son feels exactly the same way. Riddick Bowe in the white trunks, Terrell Biggs in the black.
Good stiff jabs by Terrell, but he's bailing out with him. He's throwing him going backwards.
And they don't appear to have much of an effect either.
You see Riddick there dropping his arms. He may be a little bit tired. There's been a tremendous pace for a heavyweight fight, Dan.
But if you had to walk into this fight right now and pick the guy who's 30 and pick the guy who's 23, I don't think you'd have much trouble.
No, but right now, in the closing seconds here of round number 5, I think Riddick Bowe is waiting for a second win. He looks a little bit tired. Terrell seems to have taken the initiative a little bit more.
This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds here at Harrah's. I'm Dan Deerdorf, working along with Alex Wallow. Up to this point, dominant. A good right hand by Riddick Bowe. The fight has been controlled by Riddick Bowe with the exception of the 3rd round where Terrell Biggs landed a shot that hurt Bowe. But the balance of the fight to this point has belonged to the younger Riddick Bowe.
Pretty easy fight. I thought the score, Dan, the first 4 rounds, only the 3rd going to Tyrell, 10-9 for Riddick. The last round was close because of Terrell's rally at the end of the round, but I still gave it to Riddick Bowe and have him up by 3 points at the halfway mark.
Stop punching, Bowe. Come on, man.
One of the things that Eddie Futch has been trying to get Riddick Bowe to use more is his right hand. He's not the classic right-handed bomber that you would think. He popped a tendon in that hand, had surgery before the Olympics in '88. And you can see, Alex, he is making an effort to use it more.
Yeah, he says he's got full confidence back. I'm not quite sure. Eddie said he was terribly reluctant when he first took him over as a pro. Again, Bowe jab. Ooh, good 1-2. Probably the best 1-2 by Terrell.
Again, Biggs going to the body, and Bowe is just taking it.
And he didn't react well there, Dan. If you're looking for to answer questions about Riddick Bowe's chin, you have to say there that, I mean, he didn't look shaken or close to going down, but he didn't react well and didn't cover well after he was stunned.
Wild right hand by Bowe, sails over the top.
You might get away with that at this level against Terrell Biggs, who is not known for being a strong puncher, but as he moves up to the highest levels of this division, he can't stand there like that.
Well, it's a much more cautious approach being used with Riddick Bowe than, say, Terrell Biggs, who found himself in the ring with Mike Tyson after, what, 15 fights?
Yeah, they're stretching Riddick out a little bit, and I think, you know, very smartly so. Some cynics believe that Terrell Biggs' handlers are very, very smart boxing people. The Dubas, Lou and Dan, and Shelley Finkel realized that Terrell was just never going to be competitive, and rather than take a chance on him not getting the big payday, they pushed him into it after 15 pro fights. His 2 losses after that to the likes of Francesco Damiani and Gary Mason might prove them correct.
A bad right hand there by Terrell Biggs. But he told us one thing yesterday. He said, I'm not a coward. We're coming to the end of 6, and Biggs is proving that. We're underway in the 7th round. Nacker O'Hara, the trainer of Terrell Biggs, working in his corner, trying to control that swelling around the left eye.
Ralph Citro in Riddick's corner, also using the end swell on his left eye. But of the two, Tyrell has the much greater problems.
The flow of blood hasn't been a problem, but you can see that it's beginning to swell close.
For those of you who followed Tyrell Biggs' career since he won a world championship as an amateur in 1981, his body looks stronger and harder, you must say, than he ever got in the past. He says he's the best condition he's ever been. All fighters say they're the best condition they've ever been, but in his case it may well be true.
In attendance ringside, of course, an Olympic teammate and a good friend of Terrell Biggs.
Also from Philadelphia, and Terrell really has been, in some ways, the forgotten member of that team. So many of whom, Holyfield and Meldrick and Pernell Whitaker, who are among the top 3, maybe out of the top 5 fighters in the world today, pound for pound.
And Mark Breland was on that team, who got all the attention at the time.
That's right, but Terrell got a lot of attention in the beginning, but, you know, with his 3 straight losses, and it just kind of disappeared until this fight, and I just think it's nice that Meldrick still has enough feeling for Terrell to come over here today and try to root him on. Real good counter right by Riddick that just missed. I mean, it landed, but it just missed, doing real damage. See Terrell trying to counter with his own right there, and he missed badly.
All the way.
Is Riddick Bowe, Alex, pressing the fight?
Well, he's not pressing.
That he should?
No, I mean, he may be pressing it as much as he can. But I think if he'd been able to continue coming forward and use this small 17-foot ring and stick the jab, work the body, I think he could have gotten Terrell out of here by now. But Terrell has fought very, very valiantly. I mean, give him credit. He got a lot of places in this fight where he could have laid down, and he absolutely has not. He told us he wasn't coming here just for a payday. He told us he wasn't an opponent. He may end up being an opponent, but he has a lot of heart.
It's Riddick Bowe pushing Biggs up against the rope. Biggs trying to counterpunch. Not landing much. This is 8th round action from Harrah's Marina Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Riddick Bowe and Terrell Biggs are going at it here. One would make the assumption that Riddick Bowe is comfortably ahead on the scorecards.
Yeah, there really has been a lot of meaningful punching in the last 3 rounds, Dan.
This is scheduled for 10 rounds. No title is at stake. Oh, there's a good right hand by Riddick Bowe. Biggs tried a left himself open and took a shot as he did there.
You know, we've criticized Riddick for waiting, but on those 2 occasions he waited and counterpunched very, very effectively.
Oh, and there was another good stiff left hand by Bowe.
And we've also criticized Terrell for not taking the lead, but he says, hey, pal, I just tried to take the lead twice and I got drilled. Nothing like a couple of solid power punches and the counter punching that to make a man forget about wanting to shoot the jab.
An attempt at a left uppercut that time by Biggs. Riddick Bowe's favorite combination is the left hand, the jab, followed by a right uppercut.
You just have to be amazed that Tyrell can get away with carrying his left so low. You'd say it's because he's tired, but he really does it from the opening bell. He's more comfortable shooting the jab from there. Now he's paying.
Good combinations, and right now Terrell Biggs hanging on. He took a good left hand up against the rope.
And if Riddick Bowe is as good a finisher as Eddie Futch says he is,
we'll find out.
He should use this final minute 10 to get Tyrell Biggs out of there.
Oh, a big right hand, and down goes Terrell Biggs. An overhead chopping right hand.
I'm not sure how cleanly it landed. Tyrell pulls himself up.
50 seconds left in the 8th round.
They can stop this fight right now. You see the official for the commission up on the ring post, up in the air.
It's over. Frank Cappuccino stops the fight here in the 8th round. And Rob Newman goes right to Riddick Bowe, rather. And Biggs still down.
A tough fight. 2 tough men. I think Dan gave everything they have, and in the end, Riddick Bowe had too much.
We are going to bring you later on some excerpts of fights between Evander Holyfield and Michael Dokes, and George Foreman and Jerry. Okay, we are back here in Atlantic City. Riddick Bowe won this fight. It was stopped in the 8th round, Alex.
Dan, this is the first knockdown. Riddick Bowe pushing out the jab, backing Terrell onto the ropes. That was really not a clean right hand. I just think Terrell gave out. He gave everything, as we said, and I just don't think he had anything left. That was not a clean right hand he went down from.
He did get back up, and then here's the end of the fight just seconds later.
And you'll see in the background, Dr. Frank Doggett of the New Jersey Commission will be, I'm not sure on this, no, I guess on this angle we won't see him, but the doctor was up on the apron. And I'm not sure if Frank Cappuccino saw him or heard him, but he looked at Terrell Biggs, and he jumps in.
In the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, he tipped in at an even 244 pounds. Professionally, he has 50 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, with 32 knockouts. He is ranked currently number 8 by the WBA and number 11 by the IBF. All the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Dynamite Dokes. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the red trim. He weighed in at an even 243 pounds. This young man is undefeated in 32 pro bouts with 27 knockouts. He is the IBF and WBA heavyweight champion of the world from Brooklyn, New York. Here he is, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
How about clearing the ring here, please?
Hey, Bill, get over here.
Gentlemen, you're boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. You both know the rules. Any questions at this time? I want a good, clean fight, and I want you to protect yourself at all times. Shake hands now, and God bless you both.
We've seen Dokes a number of times, guys, in which he goes out and shoots his bolt early and sees if he can intimidate or put off his opponent. I'm sure that Riddick Bowe is ready for that. He wasn't ready when Evander Holyfield came straight at him in the first round. He knows what Dokes likes to do.
On the other hand, George Foreman, Dokes appears to have worked up a nice sweat warming up in the locker room, and Riddick Bowe is bone dry in the upper body.
Michael Dokes is doing the street thing too. He's sitting watching this guy staring at him, playing little major mind tricks that may be effective to get him past the second round.
Crowd a little bit quieter than we might have expected at the beginning of the fight. I would attribute that to the surprise announcement regarding the death of Arthur Ashe. Round one begins with Bowe throwing the jab, and many people regard that as most effective weapon. Some say it's the right uppercut. Others would vote for the jab.
Strange with Riddick Bowe. He throws a good, effective left jab, but he's almost jumping backwards as though he doesn't want to put a lot of power on it.
Dokes slapping with the left, landing 3 left hooks to the side of Bowe's face. Bowe sticking the jab and landing virtually all of them early against Michael Dokes. Dokes has upper body movement, but not head movement, George. He's a stationary target.
Yeah, he's dependent strictly on his quick hand, not his quick head or quick feet. And Riddick Bowe can really take advantage of that. And Riddick Bowe is giving this old pro too much time to stand around and think.
Now Bowe snapping Dokes' head back again with the jab. Tries to land the right hand and lands a short right inside. Dokes is stunned. And Bowe takes the left hook.
Bowe is stunned by left hook.
That's right. Riddick missing with the big right hand. And down goes Dokes into the ropes. Well, I don't think Dokes went all the way down, but the referee wants to give him what will amount to the first standing 8 count.
That was a very, very fast call.
It was Dokes who decided to go out there and fight early like that, though. Wasn't Bowe's idea.
Short left hand inside by Bowe. More than a minute to go in the round. Plenty of time for Bowe to close it out. If he can keep Dokes in trouble. Dokes lands another left hook, but takes a right in return. Dokes virtually out on his feet. Good chance.
I'm surprised the referee has allowed it to go that far.
Is he going to stop it? Yes, he does. With 41 seconds still to go in the round, and now Michael Dokes is furious. And Dokes' advisors jump into the ring and begin to state their case, and it was a pretty quick stoppage, even though you say you're surprised, George.
I'm surprised that he didn't stop it a little earlier. The guy was taking too much punishment. There wasn't a chance he was going to get a knockout out of it to pay him back. No way. He should.
But he had landed the 2 solid left hooks in return.
He was in no shape to continue in that round. This guy came out for a first round knockout. He was accurate. And he was going to get it.
Well, my own personal opinion is that he was in no shape to come into the ring in the first place. Larry?
Well, it's a heavyweight championship fight. The crowd is very, very upset. This is not going to win Bowe a lot of friends, even though everybody was expecting, as we called it, that this is or was a setup. You can't quarrel with the referee. Remember that when Michael Dokes won the title, it was also on a quick stoppage in about a minute of 1 round, in which everybody thought that was too fast.
That's set up. But you can't. The referee gave him every chance. He gave him 1 standing 8 count. He even avoided giving him the second 8 count. So the referee was more than generous.
Take the glove off.
Well, we'll take another look at Dokes getting hurt early. Now remember, referee Joe Santarpia is the man watching this at close range.
Bowe was hitting Dokes with jabs, straight jabs, hurting him. Dokes, as I said earlier, was going to try to make something happen. That big right hand wobbled him, shook him up, and that's what started it. But he was there to be hit. For a long-armed fighter, the champion is very good at close quarters.
This night he looked indestructible. I mean, it was like the champion of the world that he is.
All right, there's Santarpia stopping the bout. Now, previously, you had seen the sequence in which Dokes reeled into the ropes, appeared headed down to the canvas. Santarpia stepped in and stopped the action, and Dokes never actually went down.
Well, Dokes spent the week sleeping, and he continued sleeping right here in this fight.
The referee was more than generous. He allowed him the chance to recuperate, not giving the 8 count again. So it was a fair fight. He won. He really won fair and square.
But of course, there are going to be some fans, George, who'll say, hey, wait a minute. We never saw him hit the canvas. How could the fight have been stopped in 2 minutes, 20 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, and those fans are strictly the ones who don't understand boxing. This guy is so big and powerful.
All right, let's go up to ring announcer Ed Darien for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Santarpia stops this bout at 2 minutes and 18 seconds of the first round, and a winner by a TKO, and still the heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
Well, we'll take another look at Dokes getting hurt early. Now remember, referee Joe Santarpia is the man watching this at close range.
Bowe was hitting Dokes with jabs, straight jabs, hurting him. Dokes, as I said earlier, was going to try to make something happen. That big right hand wobbled him, shook him up, and that's what started it. But he was there to be hit. For a long-armed fighter, the champion is very good at close quarters.
This night he looked indestructible. I mean, it was like the champion of the world that he is.
All right, there's Santarpia stopping the bout. Now, previously, you had seen the sequence in which Dokes reeled into the ropes, appeared headed down to the canvas. Santarpia stepped in and stopped the action, and Dokes never actually went down.
Well, Dokes spent the week sleeping, and he continued sleeping right here in this fight.
The referee was more than generous. He allowed him the chance to recuperate, not giving the 8 count again. So it was a fair fight. He won. He really won fair and square.
But of course, there are going to be some fans, George, who'll say, hey, wait a minute. We never saw him hit the canvas. How could the fight have been stopped in 2 minutes, 20 seconds?
The capital city of the United States of America, Washington, District of Columbia. Let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in white. After training at the House of Pain Gym in Newark, New Jersey, he comes in at a hard and ready weight of 224 pounds. His hometown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His professional record, 19 victories against 9 defeats. And his left hook has earned him 13 KOs. He's ranked number 12 in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cinderella Challenger, Jesse Boogeyman Ferguson. And across the ring, his opponent in the red corner, wearing white trunks with red trim. He weighs in tonight at 244 pounds. He comes into the ring as an adopted son of the D.C. area by way of the main streets of Brooklyn, New York. He's a 1988 Olympic silver medalist with a professional record of 33-0, 28 knockouts. 18 of his KOs came by the second round, and 12 went down in the very first round. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
Okay, gentlemen, I've already gone over the rules with you. Let me just remind you, I want a good, clean fight, and you will obey my commands at all times. You have any questions at this time? Okay, shake hands now, take your corners. Good luck to you both.
Ferguson said before this fight, Jim and Gil, that if he goes out and won, he doesn't want the money. I've never heard such motivation to get through a round in my life.
Sounds pretty good to me, so. Ferguson claims that he bet $10,000 on himself in Las Vegas at odds of 32-1.
Not understanding that if he wins the fight, it's worth millions and millions and millions.
And if he loses the fight in the first round, he won't be able to pay the $10,000. Jesse Ferguson's trainer tells us that his fighter is conditioned to throw 300 punches around. That, of course, is a physical impossibility. But the trainer claims that they will be trying to throw 100 punches around at Riddick Bowe.
Well, he has to get through that left jab of Riddick Bowe's to throw any kind of a punch. And there's Bowe already snapping that left jab out. There it is again, and again.
And Ferguson himself admits that he can't stay out there at the end of Bowe's jab. He's going to have to find a way to get inside of it. You go inside, then you face the prospect of the uppercut. And Bowe throws the uppercut there. Ferguson landing a left hook.
And a right hand, good solid right hand by Jesse Ferguson.
By my calculation, Gil, Jesse doesn't have a lot of punching power.
No, Riddick Bowe has the edge, punching power, hand speed, every which way. But motivation and determination can be big factors in a fight.
Solid left hook for Bowe. Ferguson stepping in, trying to get into close quarters where he thinks he can be effective. For a big man, Bowe is surprisingly good in tight.
Well, that's all that teaching. Eddie Futch has really made a remarkable fighter out of Riddick Bowe.
Uppercut for Ferguson. Bowe answers with an uppercut of his own.
Both fighters throw very, very good right-hand uppercuts on the inside. But Bowe's is better, in my opinion, and stronger.
Gil, as a career sparring partner, Jesse Ferguson has been paid much of his life to take punishment. Is that a unique qualification for stretching this fight out?
Well, we talk about sparring partner mentality, but again, Ferguson assured us yesterday when we interviewed him that he said he's going all out in this fight. He doesn't have any kind of sparring partner mentality. There's that uppercut of Bowe's again, setting up, and a good left hook by Riddick Bowe.
Ferguson stunned by the left hook. Not defending himself as well now. Bowe looking for a chance to pop it again, and the jab is dominant.
And there's the right hand uppercut inside by Riddick Bowe.
Good left hook in close by Riddick Bowe.
Set up by the uppercut again, Jim.
Bowe looks quick, doesn't look sluggish despite the extra 9 pounds above and beyond what he weighed against Holyfield.
Well, you have to remember, Jesse Ferguson's not moving at all, standing right in front of Riddick Bowe. And he got hurt by that left hook, Jesse Ferguson did.
Now Ferguson backs up against the
right hand, and
probably not a good place to be. And the left hook lands, and Ferguson goes down. Will he make it out of round 1? Michael Dokes didn't. Hazard counting. 8 count. Ferguson struggling to get up, and he makes it.
How you feel, Jesse?
Okay, he earned his money. He can keep his money.
The bell saved him. They don't have the stool up in the ring. Here's a poor guy just been knocked down, just about made it up. They don't have a stool up in the ring. Where are the seconds?
There is no stool in that corner, we're told.
They're still trying to get the stool in the ring. What kind of seconds do they have in that corner?
And finally, Jesse Ferguson has a chance to sit down if he'd like.
Move your head, Jesse. Well, he's trying to get the feeling in his legs back. He's jumping up and down now.
There you see
didn't know that
sharp left hook. After he had driven him into the ropes with some hard punching, he landed this left to the body and then a left hook. But these are 10-ounce gloves, not the 18-ounce gloves they use in the gym.
And again, Riddick Bowe hit Jesse Ferguson when he was on the canvas. The second punch, that right uppercut, was after Jesse Ferguson was down.
Punch stat numbers say that Riddick Bowe landed 2/3 of his blows in round 1. And this is going to go pretty quickly now. That's it. A spectacular performance by Riddick Bowe against an outclassed Jesse Ferguson.
He was outclassed, but Riddick Bowe raised himself another level, in my opinion. He really looked spectacular, and he did.
And obviously he's in there against an outclassed opponent, Gil, but do you think that Bowe was motivated to better Lennox Lewis's performance 2 weeks ago against Tony Tucker?
I really don't think so. Let's go up to the ring to Larry.
All right, Riddick Bowe is being bedecked here in championship belts.
That's right. And he's what it's supposed to be, Larry. And you know I'm a bad, bad man.
It doesn't look like you worked up much of a sweat, Riddick. Are you sorry about that?
Oh, not at all. I'll tell you, I work hard in the gym. I think people made a big issue about the weight. And listen, when you put your mind to something, like I said, if you feel comfortable, it doesn't matter if you come in at 250. If you're in shape, that's
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold trimmed with black and weighing 213 pounds. In 1984, he captured an Olympic bronze medal. Then, as a professional, he became the undisputed cruiserweight world champion. He then moved to the heavyweight division, winning that title 2 times. His professional record now stands at 31 victories, 22 by knockout, with only 2 defeats. Tonight, he again displays his courage by facing for the 3rd time the toughest opponent of his career. Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlanta, Georgia, introducing the Warrior, the 3-time world champion and former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Real Deal. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trimmed in red and weighing 240 pounds. In 1988, he came home to the streets of Brooklyn with an Olympic silver medal. After turning professional, he fought his way to the World Heavyweight Championship in 1992. And in his 3rd title defense, he suffered the first and only loss of his career. Tonight, he plans on reversing that single blemish on his record, a record which now stands at 37 victories, 31 by knockout, with that 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, from Brooklyn, New York, a 2-time world champion, former undisputed, and current WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight, obey my command at all time, give me good sportsmanlike conduct. Understood? All right, shake hands, good luck to both of you.
Where's low at, Joe?
Right here. Right there.
These 2 fighters seem to need each other, just as we in boxing need them. And what I'm looking forward to right now is the 25th round of a long, great fight.
And in the last few moments before the opening bell, one final entreaty from Holyfield's camp to Joe Cortez, asking him to watch the way Bowe uses his right hand. They're convinced that Bowe gets away with clubbing opponents on the back of the head too often.
Huh? What do you mean it won't go?
52 degrees at audience level, 62 degrees under the lights in the ring. And a final adjustment to the ring ropes as Cortez tries to see to it that the ropes will be tight enough, although neither man here has a habit of leaning against the ropes, and they go ahead and take that restraining rope off. Finally. men starting out working conventionally behind the jab. One immediate impression, Evander Holyfield saying to us yesterday, I'm bigger and stronger than ever before, and he looks that way in the ring.
Riddick Bowe did not take the initiative with his jab. Holyfield has won the battle of the jabs already. Holyfield is 213. He may be the bigger guy tonight after all.
Bowe at what is for him a very trim 240. Lowest weight since the first Holyfield fight in fall of '92.
When you got an advantage of a left jab, you don't wait to use it. You start off whether you land on the chest or not. Bowe is not doing that.
Holyfield tries the first real combination, and Bowe gets Holyfield with the first leg lift of the fight. Evander tripling up with the jab. He must remember to box and control his passion for warfare. Bowe must remember to put his punches together and make them count inside. Hard right hand by Bowe. Holyfield answers with a counter left.
Get those arms out of there. Get him out of there. Get those arms out of there. Come on, get him out of there.
Both men landing to the body as they clinch and then break.
Hold the head, hold the head, hold the head.
Bowe missing with a long right hand.
Break out. Come on, let's go.
Holyfield must find a way to get inside Riddick Bowe's jab when the bigger man starts to use it rhythmically. So far, Holyfield has been beating Bowe to the punch with his jab.
Watch the head, come on with the head, watch the head, come on.
Hard right hand by Holyfield.
Hold the head, man, hold the head.
Don't wait on him. But you can't throw one punch because he's going to counter two.
Why?
Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Okay. All right.
This is a good time for the doctor to get in and ask Evander Holyfield some questions.
How you feeling here?
Here's this furious exchange early in the round with both fighters connecting. Holyfield, a nice left hand there. This is a strategy that could just wear the smaller man down, but it may be the only way that Holyfield can do it, and you saw him land his own low blow.
And frankly, George, Evander Holyfield in the corner between rounds looked more exhausted than I've ever seen him at this stage of a fight.
I was about to say the same thing. He looked almost like he got old between rounds, but we may be misreading him.
To use an old expression, he just looked all stove in between rounds.
Harold Letterman, quickly, can you give us your scorecard?
Larry, 39-37, 3 rounds to 1, Riddick Bowe. I gave the first round to Evander Holyfield on a jab, but Riddick Bowe's dominated ever since. I thought he really hurt Evander with a right hand in the 4th round.
I have the same score, Harold.
More trading shots in the center of the ring.
This is a very dangerous fight as far as I'm concerned for Evander Holyfield. It's not looking good. Talk about the healing he received. This man is not able to catch a second wind. He's not able to get recapture his breathing again.
Come on, your hands are free.
Doesn't look good.
So you think there's at least a chance that the stiff heart condition which followed the Moorer fight was not in fact misdiagnosed, and that he's being bothered in some way now, just as he was against Michael Moorer?
It's terrible. He's even more so now. He can't catch a deep another wind.
Break up. Let's go.
Look at there.
We're establishing what George Foreman's opinion is here.
Yeah.
Break up. Come on, break up.
If I'm his corner, I throw in the towel. If I'm the Holyfield's corner, I throw in the towel.
Low blow, and Cortez penalizes Bowe a point.
1 point, low blow. Get in that corner over there. Full time.
Gotta stop it.
You all right? You got some time. Let me know when you're ready. Ain't no need for none of that.
There ain't no need for another accident. I told you. Twice already. 1 point already.
Evander Holyfield can have as many as 5 minutes to recover from this. And now he says he's ready to go. Flip Bomansky, the Nevada State Athletic Commission doctor, is sitting in Holyfield's corner. Holyfield taking a couple of heavy shots.
Holyfield is really hurting. He looks like he's ready to go. He looks like he has nothing to get back. He just became 33, going on 53.
Evander Holyfield has never been knocked out in his professional boxing career.
Punch this up. Keep him up. Punch this up, guys.
An extremely concerned George Foreman is presently on his feet, suggesting to Joe Cortez that he thinks a stoppage wouldn't be inappropriate.
Yeah, but
now Holyfield comes back with a right hand. George, you're sitting back down.
The problem, of course, is that you just can't underestimate Holyfield and what happens if he gets a second win. His reputation
is not going to get a second win. This man is going to end up in a pine box. He's got heart trouble. It's evident he cannot get his breathing together. He can't recuperate. If he had not had this doctors examine him.
Well, I can't refute the doctors who claim it was misdiagnosed.
Hard right hand by Holyfield.
Here he is.
And remember, of course, that he got medical clearance from the Mayo Clinic and other established medical authorities before the Nevada State Commission would license him for the bout.
Bowe is not hurting Holyfield. Holyfield is being hurt inside himself.
All right. Let's go.
He's done. I hope he doesn't get hurt. I scored that round. Even though a point was taken away from Bowe, I gave him a 9-8 round because I think he gave such a licking to Holyfield.
Down goes Bowe! First knockdown of Riddick Bowe's career.
Not getting up.
How can you ever count this man out? He is just amazing.
Bowe's out on his feet. If Evander can find him, he might finish it. It was a left hook that did the damage. Evander Holyfield, not known as a knockout puncher, trying to finish the big man here.
Can Bowe show the resilience that Holyfield showed in their first fight? Can he survive this? Who would have thunk it? Just when it looked as though Holyfield was ready to give up, he's got Bowe almost out on his feet.
And now Holyfield seems to have run out of gas.
Let's go.
Bowe getting himself back together. Got an excellent chance now to make it out of the round. And maybe even to turn it around the way Holyfield did on him in round 10 of the first fight. Here comes Bowe.
I would never ever believe that I would see this of almost a mirror image of what we saw before.
Come on.
Bowe looking at Cortez to ask for help. He says, Evander hit me on the back of the head with a left hand.
Get him out of there. Come on, let's go.
That's the first time Bowe is down as a professional.
Come on, don't be holding.
And he is showing some stuff that we haven't seen before in terms of his heart and will. And it's a good thing he got into great condition for this fight.
Holyfield's punches without snap now. What do you make of this, George?
George, you seem as stunned as everyone else.
No, I'm not stunned. I mean, Evander Holyfield is fighting on pure courage.
Dangerous courage in your view.
Dangerous.
Get up.
10 seconds left in round 6. Holyfield mounts an attack again. can't seem to stop the left hand. Evander misses with a right.
We're back at Mendez Boxing Gym here. And Mark, we just seen Evander Holyfield drop Riddick Bowe for the first time in Riddick's professional career. How did Evander get the big guy down?
An amazing turnabout. When you've been watching fights as long as we have, you're hesitant in suggesting that something like this could happen again. So we are as startled. It looked as though somebody might have brushed some smelling salts across Bowe's nose. Harold, how do you have the score after 7 rounds?
Larry, 4-2, 1 even in rounds, 66, 65 in points. Riddick Bowe by 1 point. Larry, I gave Evander an extra point in round 6 for the knockdown, but I still scored that other in round 5, 9-9. I scored it even. I'll tell you, this is tremendous stuff.
Hard right hand inside by Holyfield, and now down goes Evander.
A right hand by Bowe. A right hand inside. As Holyfield lunged to get back at him.
7.
Did the trick.
Don't think he's going to make it. 9. No, he made it.
How do you feel? How do you feel? Take a step forward. Take a step forward.
How does he feel?
Take a step forward. Take a step forward.
Wonderful. Terrific.
Third knockdown of Holyfield's career. Here comes the fourth, and that's it.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
What a fight. Once again, they even exceed the highest expectations we had.
And we'll take another look at the end of the fight. There's the hard right hand that Holyfield landed in there, and then the right hand by Bowe, and down went Holyfield. I'm not even sure Riddick knew that he had landed that hard a shot. That was the first knockdown. And another look at the first knockdown. George, this short right.
That's the right. The right. The left.
And I wasn't sure that Evander would make it up from that one. Eventually he did, and referee Joe Cortez let him come back across the ring, and that's all it took to put the finishing touches on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the site where legends are made, Caesar's Palace, a round of applause for 2 warriors in the heavyweight division. Fight number 3 was everything we wanted it to be. Referee Joe Cortez calls a halt to the bout at 58 seconds in the 8th round. The winner by TKO victory, and now reigns supreme as the best heavyweight in the world, Riddick Big Daddy
Bowe is undefeated in 14 pro bouts with 3 knockouts. He is the current USBA heavyweight champion and is ranked number 7 by the IBF and number 8 by the WBA. All the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Buster Mathis Jr. Mathis. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the black and red trim. He weighed in at an even 247 pounds. Now this big guy has 34 wins, only 1 loss with 29 knockouts. Now get this, he is the former 1988 Olympic silver medalist, the former IBF and WBA heavyweight champion of the world, is ranked number 4 by the IBF and the USBA. From Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
Good evening, Riddick and Buster. You both know the rules of the Jersey State Athletic Commission. Shake hands now. Come out boxing at the bell. Good luck.
That voice of Arthur McCanty was heard 26 years ago in the first event at this current Madison Square Garden.
Thank you,
between
John.
Joe Frazier and Buster Mathis Sr. for the heavyweight championship of New York, because Muhammad Ali was then in exile from his championship.
And can you believe, Larry, Mercanti is 75 years old.
He had that fight scored 5 rounds apiece when it ended in the 11th round with a knockout by Joe Frazier.
Bowe begins with the jab. Buster Mathis looking and waiting for the moment. Riddick in no hurry to get things started. Buster claimed that he would stay away from the jab via 2 separate strategies. Number 1, stay outside of it. Number 2, duck and slip inside of it. Sooner or later, as you point out, Gil Clancy, if he's going to do anything effective, he'll have to get inside where Bowe may be at his best.
Well, you know, that is Mathis' style. He's not fighting a usual Buster Mathis fight. He's trying to fight on the outside. Usually in fights, he moves in behind a left jab and then tries to pump quick combinations on the inside.
Right hand over the top as Mercanti calls for a break. Most effective punch so far for Buster Mathis Jr. Bowe has thrown a few jabs and otherwise is taking a good look.
And Mathis said he knows that he's smaller than Bowe, and he's going to try to take advantage and make himself even smaller to be less of a target. But right now he's standing straight up.
Bowe just misses with the right hand. Clocks Mathis with a couple of rights. Buster showing no ill effects so far.
There's that stiff jab of Riddick Bowe.
And that jab seemed to throw Buster for a little bit more of a loop than he expected. Now Mathis comes in behind a right to the body, takes a right to the body, and slaps Bowe on the head. Bowe landing that jab with effect now, Gil.
And again, he's shooting that right hand over Mathis's head. It'd be better off if he started driving that straight right hand to the body and throw a left hook behind it.
Buster said he liked the prospect of going against a man who would have to punch down at him. A lot of fighters wouldn't think that was a very attractive set of circumstances. Good uppercut by Bowe. Mathis wobbled just a little bit. Buster doesn't look too steady on his feet, Gil.
He doesn't look too confident is the main thing, Jim.
A patient Bowe using his technique. Half a minute to go to the end of the round. Riddick obviously does not think that Buster can hurt him as he steps in. He just keeps looking for opportunities to throw punches. Doesn't have his hands up, just ready to throw.
Well, he may not hurt him, but it's possible to cut him.
And I thought Mathis landed more effective punches in that round.
Give him with a big right hand.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Keep the pressure on. When you get him in the corner or in the rope, he won't need pain. Moving, giving us a lot of movement, getting in a few punches, but Riddick is just too busy and too big.
What round is this?
Okay.
Four coming up. Okay. You got to get the one.
Here you see Mathis staying under him and just doing the best with what he has. If you rated fights on how is a guy performing according to his ability, Buster Mathis might be winning this, Gil.
He gets 100% of himself every time he goes in there. But again, he just wasn't blessed with a big punch, and that's a very important thing for a heavyweight.
How do you think Bowe is doing up until now? Is he a little tentative? Is he not sharp?
I don't think he's sharp. I really think that he has been a little tentative. He hasn't fought in 9 months, and he just, you know, he's not charged up. Maybe if Mathis hits him with a couple of good punches, it may wake him up a little bit.
Does he need rounds? Is having rounds good for him?
Well, yes, I would have to say so. The more rounds he gets in this fight. But again, he keeps punching down with that right hand and keeps missing. I don't know why. He just doesn't keep bombing to the body with that right hand. Then he'll be able to hit him on the chin with no problem at all.
He landed an uppercut about 20 seconds ago that lifted Buster's left foot off the canvas. Now Bowe landing inside, but this time Buster elects to keep hanging in there. Keeps the shoulder against Bowe, keeps throwing, lands a left to the head.
And again, their heads are clashing now, and that's, again, one of the hopes that Buster Mathis has to get lucky and bust Riddick Bowe up.
And Buster is making a concerted effort here in round 4 to stay inside. Now, this is the fight plan by which he might hope to succeed. Because of hustling and work like that. And that took a hard right hand, but landed one first.
You know, it's a funny thing, Jim. Most guys that can't punch can really take a good punch. It's usually the big punches that when they get nailed with a solid shot, they go. And Mathis is no puncher, but apparently he can really take a punch.
Little blood trickling out of the mouth of Buster Mathis Jr. right now. More than halfway into round 4.
And, you know, Riddick Bowe is not bending his knees inside. Now he hurt Mathis with that right hand.
That was a terrific right hand, and Buster is flat-footed at the moment. Ducking and slipping.
Bowe has missed 7 straight big shots. And then he knocked him down while he was down. And he could get penalized for that if the referee won. He was on one knee.
Stopping the fight. Mercanti is stopping the fight. Now it remains to be seen what decision Mercanti's going to make here. Mathis had a knee on the canvas.
And Mercanti is warning Riddick Bowe. Is this fight in Mercanti's hands, Harold Letterman?
Absolutely. Well, the disqualification of the McKenty, if he says it's a foul, could disqualify Riddick Bowe. If Buster Mathis can continue, there's no question. It's up to McKenty.
No question that he did hit him when he was down. His knee was obviously on the canvas. Must have been on the canvas 2 or 3 seconds before Riddick Bowe finally landed that final punch.
Now, Larry Hazard is meeting with Arthur McKenty. They're talking it over. This may be a disqualification win for Buster Mathis Jr.
The fight is definitely over. There will be no resumption of the action.
I stopped the fight because I could see that he was not able to continue, and it's considered a KO. That's all. It's a KO. Now, what you want to do is up to you as far as fine. I think
we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that part. Okay.
Yeah, we'll call it.
You're hearing Larry Hazard talking to the referee Arthur McKenty.
I'll tell you what I would do.
McKenty is saying he stopped the fight because of KO, and the rest is up to Hazard. So now it's what is Hazard rule?
And I didn't count. He's knocked out. But he has to be reprimanded for what he did.
But there's a foul. He knocked him out on the foul. After the bell. So here's what we're saying. Why don't we? Yeah, but the point is, we hit him after the bell. We had to determine. Do we feel that it was? I didn't think it was intentional.
No,
I didn't think it was intentional.
He was in the stream. He was in the stream. He was in the mood.
Unintentional.
Yeah, he was in the stream.
But he was down. It was unintentional. He was down. So we will go to the scorecards like it was a regular foul. Okay? You know, we would go to the scorecards like it was a headbutt because it was an unintentional foul. He can't continue.
It's only the 3rd round.
Okay, so then it's a...
They can hear me here on my mic. You better cut this one off.
Cut our mic. Cut the mic.
Yeah, cut it off.
You're hearing Larry Hazard saying that this fight is a technical draw.
Well, he hadn't said it yet, Larry. He's considering the possibility, but he has not said that yet.
We'll talk to all of these principals as soon as they make a decision.
Riddick Bowe waiting, as you see. Discussion continues at the ring.
It's not okay.
Larry Merchant turns over 3 glasses of water while stepping up from our table into the ring.
Yeah, but I have a waterproof suit, Jim, so it's okay.
It's the best waterproof tux on the market, isn't it, Gil?
It certainly is. I figured I'd be working in the rain someday.
They managed to get away from our effects microphone far enough that we can't hear the details of the conversation anymore. But we'll be talking to all 3 of the principals in this affair, including Mercanti, and I presume Larry Hazard once all of this has been settled. There's Buster Mathis Jr., and your mind goes to Buster Mathis Sr. sitting at home in Wyoming, Michigan, a man somewhat debilitated by a heart attack and a series of strokes, and I wonder how his heart is handling this one, Gil.
Boy, this is really a tough one. And, you know, I'd like to see a replay of Buster Mathis on his knee and see how long before Bowe landed that punch.
Larry Hazard now describing his interpretation to Bowe's manager, Rock Newman. Here's the replay, Gil.
And you can see Bowe trying to work on the inside. And Mathis just goes down to one knee. I mean, he really wasn't hit. He just decided to take a timeout. And that's when Riddick Bowe nailed him. But it was long after he was down on one knee.
Another look at the damage being done by Bowe. Mathis voluntarily, it seemed, going to one knee as if he wanted to take an 8 count to clear his head, and then Bowe landing the blow that put him on his back. Now, it seemed apparent from the conversation we overheard previously that Arthur Mercanti's interpretation of this was that he was going to stop the fight because of Mathis's inability to fire back against Bowe, and he regarded the foul as a post-decision affair. Larry Hazzard does not seem to feel the same way.
Down, and that wasn't right. And I went to the corner and I told him so.
It's a no contest.
It's no contest. It's no contest. I kind of think to solve the whole thing is fine him about $5,000 or $10,000.
Well, we'll do about the fine. That's no contest.
It was an intentional foul, and he was knocked out on an intentional foul.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Convention Center here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, an intentional foul sustained to Principal Buster Mathis Jr. Therefore, the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board declares this bout a no contest. A no contest at 2 minutes and 11 seconds of the 4th round. No contest.
Style could really operate to Gonzalez's advantage. Hard right hand by Bowe. Gonzalez wobbled into the ropes. Riddick working inside where he wants to be. According to Jorge Luis Gonzalez, whoever knocked him down. But he's on the verge of going down right now. And there's a hard right by Gonzalez, but Bowe comes right through it.
Wasted a lot of energy and didn't get a finish. Now Gonzalez backs up, uses left jab, invites Bowe to come on in. Pretty soon you're going to see Bowe tremble a little bit with right hand.
Dealing out a lot of punishment. He's making, in your view, mental errors that could hurt him later on.
That's true. You don't follow a punch and then you don't let a puncher. See, he's holding him by the head. Once you throw hard shots, it takes all your juice out of your legs.
Bowe still doing most of the damage in these exchanges and landing at close range. It's deteriorating into a brawl. Heavyweight title.
Gonzalez, he's weathered the storm. His jab is working now. If he doesn't get too overconfident, an excellent job of spinning.
Bowe with a hard right hand.
He's living the punishment. It's hard to turn him out.
Good straight left hand by Bowe. Gonzalez having some difficulty now. And Bowe landing constantly.
Good left jab.
Bowe landing at will. Another landslide scoring round for Bowe. And Gonzalez is taking quite a pounding. Throws very few punches in return. Bowe risking disqualification there, and that was a stupid move. Starting to come to life a little bit in round 5. Round 4 was dreadful for him. Bowe landed 53 punches. For that right hand, he takes another right hand shot, wobbles away. Lane looking closely. That looks like a big advantage.
Ooh,
there it goes. That should do it. That's the first time Gonzalez has been down as a pro. 6. And if he gets up from this, he fools me. Now Mills Lane doesn't bother to complete the count. Another terrific right hand shot for Riddick Bowe.
Fans at home, they'll always remember wherever there's a lot of smoke,
there's
a whole lot more smoke.
Lean a little bit forward and just take it.
He's had just too many of them all night.
And still, WBO World Heavyweight Champion, Riddick Big Daddy
Hotel, Casino, and Theme Park, the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada.
where tonight, Spencer Promotions and the MGM Grand, in association with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Dr. James Ney, Commissioners Nat Carasali, Dr. Elias Ghanem, Luther Mack, and Crispin Rivera. Executive Director Mark Ratner. Chief Physician at ringside, Dr. Flip Homansky. Attending physicians, Dr. James Wishgame and Dr. William Berliner. Timekeeper at the bell, Mike Lachella. Counting for the knockdown seconds, Al Bisick. Representing the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Valcarcel. And supervisor at ringside with the WBO, Florida State Athletic Commission Chairman Jimmy Resnick. The three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Chuck Giampa, Bill Graham, and Jerry Robb. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the fabulous MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red trim, weighing 241 pounds, this 1988 Olympic silver medalist brings into the ring a professional record of 35 victories against only one loss, with one no contest, and 29 of his 35 victories are by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from Brooklyn, New York, the challenger and former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy and his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red letters, and weighing 214 pounds. He brings an outstanding professional record of 26 victories without a loss, and he has proven his punching power by knocking out 25 of those 26 opponents. Ladies and gentlemen, from Norwich, Norfolk, England, presenting the undefeated WBO Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Dancing Destroyer, Herbie Hall.
All right, Herbie, let's go. Okay, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. Caution again. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck.
Herbie Hyde might be compared to a star in the AAA leagues. He's in the big leagues now. Can he stand in on the curve? Can he get around on the fastball?
Finally, the bell sounds. Richard Steele, the referee, and finally, the bell sounds. Richard Steele, the referee, and round one begins. The title to which Michael Buffer referred in his pre-fight introductions is granted by an organization which is not recognized by HBO. So for our purposes, this is not a world championship bout. Herbie Hyde starts the action with a combination to Bowe's head. Riddick Bowe promised us yesterday that he would start off going to Hyde's body to determine whether his strength and weight advantages would be the telltale thing if he goes to the body.
And by Hyde moving to the right, that makes it a non-fight and confuses Riddick Bowe. Anytime he slides over, makes it very, very difficult for Bowe. Bowe is just stalking him. At least he should be sticking out that left jab.
Bowe goes the first minute of the punch almost without throwing a fight, where he finally delivers a left jab.
Hold the rope. Great. We've seen already on a couple of occasions, Gil, we talked about earlier, that intuition when to jump in.
Well, Hyde, again, if he nails you with a good solid punch, I mean, he lets it all hang out. He takes chances then. In the meanwhile, he still fights with that chin way up in the air, and he has a tendency to pull back from punches. And even when he's going in punching, that head's up in the air. Doesn't move his head too much.
Does Bowe?
Well, yes, Bowe can slip a punch. Does it very smoothly.
Another assault by Hyde, and he backs away.
And Bowe is asking him to come on in and fight. I hope he doesn't do that all night. He's going to have to make Hyde fight. Snap that jab. Do something.
How do you account for Bowe's low activity level so far, Gil? He's just not throwing anything.
Well, I had mentioned he looked a little lethargic going into the ring before the fight. And he really, I don't know what their fight plan was, but I'm sure this is not what Eddie Futch would like to see him do.
Bowe, by his own admission, didn't do much to cut off the ring against Larry Donald in December. He said that he didn't feel like working that hard some of the time against Donald, and thought that he didn't have to dominate the fight. That much was true.
And early in this fight, Jim, you can see that Hyde is much the quicker of the two.
To no one's surprise. Hyde landing to the body, and Bowe with nothing in reply. Another flurry for Hyde. It's been an easy round for Hyde because Bowe hasn't retaliated with much of anything. A hard right hand by Hyde and an uppercut to punctuate the first round.
Riddick Bowe should have stayed in his dressing room for another 3 minutes, Gil.
Well, again, the delay, and when he got up into the ring, he just didn't seem to be focused before the fight.
Good hand. But you got to get off of that jab. You can't let him move around like that and kick you off when you follow him.
There's that quick hard right at the end of the round. Watch. Really landed solidly, Gil. But Bowe didn't flinch.
Well, if he didn't flinch from that one, he's not going to get hit much harder than that, Larry. And his head banged into Bowe. Certainly was not deliberate.
Round 3 begins. The first 2 rounds appeared to us to belong to Herbie Hyde. Riddick Bowe seemingly lethargic in this latest effort to prove himself the best among the active heavyweights.
Hyde's movement is really bothering Bowe because Bowe fainted, Hyde fell for the feint, and Bowe still didn't throw a punch. You see Bowe fainting, but not following it up with anything after the feint.
Hard right hand underneath by Hyde.
Solid punches by Hyde.
Going to the body, and that's a good idea too, isn't it, Gil?
It certainly is. It's going to help him out if the fight goes any kind of distance. But again, I think the pressure of Bowe just being there, being on top of Hyde, is taking a little bit out of Hyde. He looked a little tired at the end of the last round. Remember, it's only the second round of the fight.
You're right, Gillies.
Hard left hand by Bowe. Hyde temporarily stunned by that one. Now Herbie backs up, and Riddick tries to follow it in.
Tagging him with that left jab. Very seldom you see that. Bowe had better be careful now.
Riddick Bowe coming alive, and behind the right hand, he gets hit with a Hyde right, and that turns it right around. Bowe in trouble. Hyde looking to land one more clean shot. Long way to go in round 3. Now Bowe steadying himself, tries to set up to throw the jab again. And down goes Hyde. And Richard Steele is saying that it's not a knockdown. There's no count, but Hyde is clearly stunned.
He must have been hit with a very, very short punch.
He's out on his feet. He's out on his feet and in danger of getting hurt if Bowe can put something together. Down goes Hyde again. There still hasn't been an official knockdown ruling. Now this one gets a count.
7, 8.
I had mentioned mentioned that Hyde looked tired. He looks exhausted now, and it's only the third round of the fight.
And now Hyde handles Bowe for the moment again, lacing him with lefts and rights. And as Bowe opens up to try to finish, Hyde takes advantage and falls down again.
Got hit with an uppercut. Right uppercut, right on the button.
5, 6, 7.
Well, that's 3 knockdowns.
Except that the first one wasn't ruled a knockdown.
It was not ruled a knockdown.
Richard Steele
One to go.
Hyde still fighting back, not grabbing and holding or covering up. Can he make it out of the round? He does.
Richard Steele missed a knockdown.
Big time. This fight would be over if Steele had ruled properly on the first knockdown.
This is your championship. Come on. Everybody's the way, son. Come on, boys. You got to move. Don't stand in the side with it. Come on, game, mate. Come on.
Steele has gone out the window in this fight. This looked like a Golden Glove final.
I'm fighting for a championship. Where are you? Where are you? Vegas, fucking Riddick Bowe. Get lost. Come on, come on. You can beat this fella. You can beat this kid. Come on. In your league. You're playing the man's game. Come on. Don't feel free. Come on. Move. Move.
Starts to rally like that. Bobbing, weaving, block and duck.
Here we're seeing what's happening here, and you saw that. See if we can get another glance at that. I don't see where there was a knockdown.
It's impossible to see what happened.
And yet he got up groggily, his nose bleeding. I don't have an explanation for it. We'll have to take a closer look as we can if this fight goes another round.
Pretty amazing. By punch-stat numbers, Bowe landed only 9 punches in the round. Hyde was on the canvas 3 times. Now Hyde tries to put Bowe down, and Bowe goes down while missing a punch. And Steele calls that a slip, even though Bowe was clearly stunned by Hyde's punches.
Bowe is just looking for one big shot now to end this fight. He made that mistake against Holyfield. He just has to go back to work and let it happen instead of trying to make it happen.
We've had moments when both guys were wobbly.
But Hyde is very tired at the moment.
I think you're right, Gil. Sometimes his first big fight, the pressure of fighting a big man, it can make you tired no matter how many hundreds of miles you've run or how many hundreds of rounds you've sparred.
Well, that's what I think really happened. You can see he has plenty of courage. He fires back and everything, but he just, the pressure of the event got to him early in the fight. Whether or not he can relax now and get a second win to come out, who knows?
Rounds 3 and 4, bringing a bizarre series of events to Bowe Hyde. And in the circus of oddities that have marked Bowe's career, here is yet another one to add to the legend and the aura. Weird stuff happens when Riddick Bowe fights.
Right on the button with the right hand by Hyde. And you know, he telegraphs that punch, but he still gets it in there.
Just no defense by Bowe, and then Bowe comes back with the left jab, and Hyde has already shown us that he is from time to time stunned by Riddick Bowe's left jab.
Hyde is not going to be able to keep this movement up for 12 rounds, though, Jim. He's going to have to hit Bowe and really hurt him because he's not going to have the stamina to go 12.
Another hard right hand over the top by Hyde. He's game enough, that's for sure, but now Bowe lands 2 hard right hand shots. Hyde's out on his feet, and there he goes. 4, 3rd official knockdown. 4th time Hyde has been on the canvas.
Hey! You okay? Give me a glove.
Steele's gonna let him keep going.
Got a half a minute to survive or try.
That's where Bowe should have landed a left hook to the body. And Bowe throws him down. And correctly, Richard Steele calls it no knockdown.
Hyde trying to fight Bowe off with the jab.
But the bigger man now is really imposing himself on Herbie Hyde.
Riddick stalking an exhausted Herbie Hyde, and Hyde goes down from punches and from total fatigue.
I didn't see a punch there either.
A body punch, Larry. It wasn't much of a punch.
Hey, give me the gloves.
That's going to get him out of the 4th round.
Herbie Hyde showed us some real stomach, as they say in Britain, some real courage to get through that round after the previous round.
Come on. When you're in the clinch, don't put your head down. Bring your head forward. Don't bring your head back. It's the old red light he's kissing you with. Listen. Listen to us, we are?
We had mentioned before the fight that Herbie High pulls his head back, and that's what they're telling him in the corner. Bring it inside, don't pull it back.
Let's see what happened here on this knockdown. That was just a big clubbing right hand against a fatigued High, a left jab, another one high in the head. That looked more from fatigue than anything else.
Well, the best punches were the two jabs, and they weren't really kind of punches to put him on the canvas, but he's a tired young man right now.
Well, give him this. He doesn't fight like a...
How have you got it so far?
Jim, I got to tell you, Nevada judges are notorious for calling rounds close with knockdowns, but I'm not a Nevada judge. I had the third round 10-7 because Riddick Bowe scored 2 clean knockdowns and had him out, so I took away a point for each knockdown. Rounds 4 and 5, on the other hand, I thought Riddick Bowe didn't have that much of an advantage, and I only went 10-8. But certainly he deserved an extra point for the knockdowns in rounds 4 and 5. So I got it 3 rounds to 2, 48-43, Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, you scored the first 2 rounds for Herbie High.
Exactly. He had to get the first 2 rounds.
As I did, but I scored it a 1-point round with a 5th round.
Well, it's judge's choice with all the fighters who've been lying on the canvas for the number of times that Hyde has been on the canvas tonight.
Again, Larry, you want to know what Riddick Bowe is doing wrong. He's stalking the fighter, but he's not moving his hands. Moving his legs, not moving his hands. Look how long it takes him to get off any kind of a punch at all.
You know, 2 years ago, Bowe looked as though he was rapidly becoming a supreme technician. Where did it all go, Gil?
Come on, get up. No.
Hyde down again.
Come on, give me the
Hyde's been using the canvas to really hide and rest.
Another slippage. Hard right hand over the top.
Go to the corner,
That ought to be a knockdown.
Somebody
and the towel comes in from Hyde's corner. Steele ignores the towel.
As
Somebody
he should.
They're not allowed to throw in a towel to stop a fight. And they have that rule in to keep them from making scores on gambling.
Steele kicks the white towel out of the ring.
A good move by Steele.
Hyde maybe not entirely in touch with what's going on at this point. He's so exhausted.
Hyde ought to try to take a round off here, Gil. Just run, stay away from him, hold, not engage him if he can get away.
Where did all of Bowe's skill and polish and ring intelligence go, Gil?
Maybe it went with that good living.
Well, in part it's because of the nature of the opponents he's been fighting. That may be it.
Will this be enough?
Go, come on.
There's a count going.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And Hyde's not going to make it up. A rusty, rough-hewn effort, but Riddick Bowe gets his KO.
Well, we were talking about how Riddick Bowe had to make a great impression.
I think what Riddick Bowe needs is a real challenge. Somebody who can really compete with him so that he can train in that way. I think he's gone into these last 3 fights thinking he didn't have an opponent who was truly able to compete with him.
Well, I felt that Bowe was in great shape for this fight. I told him how important the fight was, but who knows what goes on in a fighter's mind.
And we're taking repeated looks here at the last of Herbie Hyde's many trips to the canvas.